Hello, everybody, and welcome to Practice Pulse podcast. I am your host, Dr. Aditi Agarwal, and it is my greatest pleasure to speak today or have as our guest Angela Holland. She is a highly sought after insurance expert and consultant. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure to have you because, as a dentist and a practicing dentist, that is, I know that it's very important to have an insurance expert in my back pocket, so to speak, because insurance is a tough thing to navigate for all of us out there who are practicing. We don't understand all the ins and outs of it. And so it's great to have somebody who does on our team. So welcome. I'm going to go over a little few things about you. You have a decade of experience in the dental industry, which is amazing. And Angela has had the privilege of collaborating with some of the most well-known people in the industry. She sets herself apart from all the practice consultants with a unique journey of success. She started in an office as a team member and worked herself up to an office manager, and then ultimately ventured to establish, grow, and sell her insurance revenue cycle management company. That's nuts.
Yes.
In a remarkable 4-year span, Angela has achieved a notable milestone by building and selling her highly successful insurance billing company to a publicly traded company, y'all, for over 7 figures. That's insane.
Thank you.
And that's so amazing. Tell us about that story.
Thank you. It is insane. I'm equally as shocked, and it was an incredible journey. I saw a need in the industry back in 2019 for not only a reputable billing company, but somebody who has the quality to work with people, who had the know-how of actually doing the billing themselves. So I started my own company at my kitchen table in 2019, and I grew it. I had a couple dozen insurance billing specialists located throughout the US, and we focused 100% of our knowledge and daily efforts on making sure that practice reimbursement was as high as possible from insurances. We want to Our mission and my goal and vision when creating this company was twofold. I wanted to be able to support moms that wanted to stay home and work. So I was able to hire a lot of moms to work from home, or women that wanted to be able to work from home. And then to be able to focus all of our efforts on making sure that dentists are successful with an insurance, with insurance. And it's so easy to say, oh, just learn about insurance, just stay relevant. But there's so much that changes with insurance literally on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that even if they provided dentist courses on insurance in school, it still would be irrelevant by the time you're 5, 10 years into your career. So we really wanted to keep the practices and practice owners. We wanted to be able to take that headache off of everyone, and that's exactly what we did.
Wow. Well, that's amazing because you are right. Insurance is a headache. I've been in practice for about 21 years. And when I first started out, the landscape in insurance was very different compared to what it is now.
Yes.
There's so many more controlling factors that insurance has put out compared to what it used to be more than 20 years ago. And if I had to navigate all that as a young dentist, oh my gosh. Uh,
Yes.
I don't know if I would be a dentist, you know?
Yes. Yes, on top of juggling, staffing, keeping the practice full, making everything that comes with business ownership. And then insurance is almost like an additional education that isn't, granted to dentists. So yes, it is. It's an ever-changing. I mean, I don't like to call it this, but it really is. It's an ever-changing game.
Mm-hmm.
And as an insurance expert, that is what, my team and I focus on, is making sure that the practice is always winning with insurance. That truly is my passion.
Well, that's awesome. That's really awesome. And I'm assuming you also do negotiating fees with insurance companies, right?
We do. You're right to assume that. So in 2023, I sold my company, Preferred Dental Services, to a publicly traded company. So we are no longer doing insurance billing, the revenue cycle piece. And myself and my team are now focused on the insurance credentialing and fee negotiation portion of the the ever interesting insurance game. So we focus on credentialing new grads and new providers that are purchasing a practice or whatever it may be, to make sure that we get them relevant with the insurances, as well as fee negotiations, and more commonly kind of what's being talked about in the industry is fee optimization. We want to make sure that the practice and the provider are set up with the right insurance for their practice, their location, and their patient demographic. All of that is based off of location, zip code. Truly, there's a lot of different pieces that form the insurance puzzle when it comes to proper negotiations and networking for providers.
That's awesome. So how do you achieve that? How do you achieve the, fee optimization? Because I have tried and, they keep pushing back.
Yes.
So how is it a game of how much you can push them? Or is it a game? What is the game?
Yes, I love it. Yes. Yes, that is absolutely part
Are
of
we
it. It
playing
is,
Monopoly or are we playing
yes.
Clue? What are we playing?
Yes, and I think the game changes from week to week, honestly, depending
Right.
on which rep you're talking to at which insurance. So there's really a lot to the dynamic. One is building relationships with different insurance companies or different representatives at insurance companies. Being that I have been doing insurance RCM for over a decade, I have many relationships that are long lasting with different representatives at different insurance companies. So that's one thing that sort of helps get the foot in the door. But that being said, there's staff turnover with insurance just like there is everywhere else. So part of it is, yes, how bullheaded can we be to go against and go at bat for you all? Part of it is simply showing statistics, numbers, and gathering data from your practice management software. I use an extraction software that does that extraction for me, so that when I go forward and when my team and I go forward to insurance companies, we have all the data. So we are an educated person going into this negotiation from the start. So we're able to say, this is what industry standard is. This is where this practice is located. This is what their updated UCR fees are. And this is what we're expecting for you to do in order to keep this relationship going. And a little bragging right here. Just last month, we increased Delta Dental of Wisconsin. We did a fee negotiation, which it's unheard of to get rate increases with Delta Dental. But I'm telling you, it can be done. And
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting.
yes,
That
yes,
is
it
so
truly
exciting.
is. It's a game, and I think part of it is that they're counting on you not to follow up, and it's very tedious and time consuming. So I truly believe it's a combination of knowing how to play the game, having the tools to come with a fully loaded tool belt when you're ready to have the conversation, and then follow up, making sure that what you're being told is what you're being shown in writing as well. So it's kind of a couple different steps to one positive outcome.
Right. That's like a three-prong approach, I think, is what it kind of leads to. And I think that's also, as I'm also founder of the software company Practice by Numbers, and that also helped me in my early days to negotiate my fee schedules because, like you
Absolutely.
said, data is king, and
Yes.
having those dashboards, having that data, showing them exactly where we stand, um, it helps insurance companies, I think, recognize that, yes, we need to do something or we're going to lose this person as a member. So, definitely having some sort of analytical tool in your back pocket does help any practice and makes your life and job easier when you're trying to negotiate fees, I would think, right?
Absolutely. Yes, data is key. It really is. Yes.
Right. And so when you have achieved, this fee negotiations and help with PPO credentialing, how how does this expertise, how does it impact the financial health of that dentist practice?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we always positively impact a dental office or a dentist financial standing. And my kind of claim to fame is that we will always increase your insurance revenue. So even with my new company, Preferred Dental Solutions, we have a guarantee. We guarantee to increase your insurance revenue or your money back. I
Wow,
know.
that's
Yes, I
awesome.
know. Yes. Um, Without a shadow of a doubt that we will not only pay for ourselves, um, I mean, some companies we're paying for ourselves tenfold. There are different pieces to each practice that will dictate how much revenue increase we have. Because if you're a combination of PPO and other insurances, that's going to lower the PPO negotiated increase, things like that. But I mean, we increase by on average about 20% annually for insurance increase. So we will always, I know, we will always impact a practice positively, but our average is around 20%.
That's really cool. I
Yes.
mean, that, uh, wow. And
Yes.
then, so what would be your price point for these dental practices?
Yes, that's a great question. So for credentialing, just getting you started, getting you established, and making sure that you're set up on the proper fee schedules is around $6,000 per provider per location. And then the fee optimization and negotiations, that takes a lot more tedious, time-consuming work because in addition to doing the credentialing and recognizing piece with new insurances, we also have to get you off of some of the plans that are not serving your practice. So it's a little more time consuming. And that's around $9,000, just shy of $9,000. So not only do we pay for ourselves, most ROI is 10 times what we charge. But that being said, we guarantee it.
That's amazing. I love it that it comes with a guarantee,
Yes.
that's just as a practitioner and a practice owner, it is really heartwarming to hear from somebody who says that, you know what, I can guarantee the success of your mission, um, be it insurance, So
Yes, I believe in our systems and our processes so much so, and I mean, just our proven track record. I guarantee it. I will make a positive impact on your practice.
that's awesome. That's really heartwarming to hear. And so, can you talk about some of the changes and innovations, as related to RCM in dentistry, or
Yes.
what have you found most exciting, most impactful?
Yes, I think that we are all very aware of the Change Healthcare breach that brought a whole new conversation, I think, to dentistry and data.
Mhm.
So that was a big piece where I think practices saw what the revenue cycle from insurance, how much it truly impacts their bottom line,
Mhm.
their ability to pay their team, their overhead, all of that. So what I have seen be most successful, and I don't just say this because I owned a billing company, but what I have seen, and even with my own companies, is hiring experts to do the job at hand that they're the expert at. I would never go to a cardiologist asking him for a root canal. Never happen.
Right.
So me personally, I am going to hire the best billing company I can hire to make sure that they handle what they are the experts at. By the time I'm paying for, the overhead of the staff in the office, trying to get them trained up, trying to keep the resources refreshed, it's just one or two people in office that are trying to stay relevant on insurance. Whereas when you hire the right companies, they have a team of people that are staying relevant. It's the same with credentialing and with insurance changing so rapidly. hiring the experts to handle the revenue cycle pieces are going to guarantee, and it has to be the experts, not just anyone. But these companies that are reputable, hiring the experts to handle these tasks at hand will allow a practice to be most successful and allow a provider's revenue cycle to be most successful. I just, something that I have seen is a lot of really good quality companies coming forward and teaming up and working together to create these relationships to serve dentists and practices nationwide. That's probably what I've seen the most, in the last handful of years.
Right. No, I mean, I completely agree with you. When I first started out uh, as a dental practice owner, we didn't have any of these solutions, right? I had to do my own credentialing. I had to do my own fee negotiation. I have. I mean, there
Oh
just
my God.
wasn't anything there.
Yes.
Um, I'm aging myself, but
You
you
look 21 years old, so I can't believe you've been practicing dentistry for 21 years.
but the idea is that now for the practitioner of today, we have all these resources.
Mhm.
We have all these people who are experts in what they do.
Mhm.
And, it is really important, I think, that for us to be great at what we do as practitioners, we need to unburden some of the excess baggage
Mhm.
that we're having to carry, whether it's in the form of the insurance, credentialing, and fee negotiation, whether it's in terms of RCM,
Mhm.
whether it is in terms of just understanding how your practice is performing and what you can do to make changes to improve it, or even just automating simple tasks within the practice. There are resources. There are resources out there for a reason. There is now what I call a whole industry supporting
Yes.
us as small business owners, and not taking those opportunities is, in my opinion, now silly, and
Mhm.
shooting yourself in the foot, because now you can use that time to spend on CEs or to really work on the clinical aspect, because clinical dentistry is changing. It's
Yes.
different from 20 years ago when I
Yeah.
graduated from dental school. And, with the whole digital dentistry age, there's so much more you can do. And it is so exciting. But it's like, as a dentist, that's what makes my blood flow, right? Is the clinical dentistry. But then, you have only so many hours in the day, and you're like, well, I need to either learn all these new things to be able to put it in practice, or I can just work on keeping my practice running.
Yes.
And that's the difference, where partnering and understanding and letting people like your company help dentists like me and say, okay, you know what? You can let go of this reign because I got you. And our RCM billing company can say, you can let go of this reign because I got you here. It's like, you know, back in the day, I would say I was the chariot and I was the horse and I
Mhm.
was the rider, right?
Yes.
And I could only get so far.
Yes.
But now, with all the resources, you can be the rider and the chariot, and you can be the person who controls all these horses, where you
Yes.
have multiple horses
Mhm.
leading you, which will help you reach much farther.
Yes, much further, much faster. And, I'm a big proponent of work-life balance. I have a family of my own, and also I may not be a practice owner, but I've been a business owner. And it's a lonely place. It can be a lonely place when you're relying solely on yourself to do everything. But when you allow the right people to come in and help guide you with different pieces, it becomes more fulfilling because you're not just focused, I think, just so focused on the finish line, or I've got to get to this point. You're able to kind of sit back and relax and focus on what you're passionate about within practice ownership or whatever it may be. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. For dentists so who are new to the industry, uh, what advice would you give them regarding, mastering fee negotiation?
Yes. Don't do it yourself. Don't do it yourself. I think allow Preferred Dental Solutions, allow experts with good reputations, get referrals from people to work with companies that your friends or colleagues have used. But allow an expert to start you with credentialing. Many people do not know this, but even from day one contracting, you can negotiate fees. So many people just take whatever fee schedules handed to them, and that's not the case at all. So we can negotiate fees from day one. And it's super important to have your revenue as high as possible from day one because many providers are taking out business loans and on top of school loans. And we need to make sure that you are generating as much revenue from day one versus waiting 2 years down the road when you can negotiate those fees or when many people think you can then negotiate. So we want to get you set up from day one.
Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. See, I did not know that
Yes.
you could do that from day one. Darn it.
Yes.
Where were
I know.
you?
I've got you
15 years
now. Don't worry.
ago. Well, and what about when, like me, we've been doing this
Yes.
for 10, 15, 20 years. Do you have any tips for people like me?
Absolutely. So, a couple tips for existing owners are one, you should be updating your UCR fees by 3 to 5% annually. Every single year, those UCR fees should get increased. And then insurance negotiation and fee optimization should be reviewed by an expert every 24 months because that's when you're eligible for renegotiation. So we want to make sure that you are jumping on top of the rate increase as quickly as possible. So as soon as you're able to negotiate, which is approximately every 24 months for most PPOs, I would recommend having an expert review and take care of those for you.
Now, I have a question. If, say, somebody hires you, would you do that on an ongoing basis, or is that something where, it's a one-time thing and then you have to hire, have another conversation? How does that work with your company specifically?
Yes, that's a great question. So there's no need in dentistry, there's no need to have a retainer or a maintenance package. We would do the credentialing, fee optimization, and then we at Preferred, we have a reminder and a system in our CRM that will let us know, hey, doctors due for fee negotiations. And at that point, if you were a previous customer, we'd reach out to you saying, can you believe it's that time again? And we would offer our services. And it is at a discounted rate because at that time we have a lot of the data that we're needing. So we also appreciate long-term relationships with our clients.
Oh, that's great. That's really awesome to know. And how can our listeners reach you guys?
Yes. So our website is www.preferreddentalsolutions.com. It's a mouthful, I know.
Well, that's okay.
And
So it's practice by numbers.
yeah, I know. And my direct email address is info@preferreddentalsolutions.com. And then our phone number is 302-236-8856. Give us a call. We'd love to chat with you. I do a free consultation to see if we would be a good fit based on what the practice is looking for, based on how you're currently set up. We want to make sure, again, we guarantee our services. So we want to make sure that when we take you on as a client, we will be in a mutually beneficial relationship. That is what we're here to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think you have a special for PBN listeners today.
I do. If you mention PBN or the podcast, then I would be happy to honor a $250 discount from either service.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Angela. This was really, really enlightening. And like I said, we need it. as dentists, I don't think we need to be writing this insurance, very complicated insurance horse all by ourselves. And
Yes.
it's great to have people that support the industries as yourself and your team doing such wonderful things because, heck, we could all use it. So,
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, and it's been an honor to chat with you and a pleasure.
yes, no, thank you so much.